Hello today guys, this is Hills Knight 2180 and another review episode. Today we will be reviewing Arthas Menethil, or the Lich King. In Warcraft 3, I do believe. He was the Prince of Lordaeron. To protect his people, he went and fought in Stratholme, done all this crazy shit, and there was this Dreadlord, Balnazzar. No, not Balnazzar, but Tichondrius. I always get them two mixed up for some odd reason. And maybe because they both have horns and wings. Either or. But he fought the Dreadlord, followed him all the way to Northrend, found the sword Frostmourne that he's holding right here. And it, if I remember it quote by quote, what the warning was for that blade is, whomever shall take up the blade shall wield power eternal, but with power comes scarring of the spirit. Basically, you have to give something in return to even wield that blade. That's why he looks like a pale blue ghost. That's all Death Knight, so. But now, on to the abilities. We have Death Coil, Howling Blast, and Frozen Tempest. And for our D, Frostmourne Hungers. Basically, with our Q, the Death Coil, if we... and we ain't low health yet. But can be self-cast to heal for 104 health, or deals 94 damage to enemy. I'm gonna level up to 10 real quick. And I'll actually use this to actually... I always like the Sindragosa better. But basically you have Army of the Undead. Basically, if you've ever played World of Warcraft, it got pretty... I don't know how to exactly explain it. If you've played World of Warcraft as a Death Knight, you know what Army of the Undead is. Now the Sindragosa, as you just seen, I'll redo the cooldowns. You summon the Frostbrood Queen Sindragosa, and she basically lays a frost siege to everybody. Yeah, fuck you, Arthas. Suck it, bitch. Now I'm gonna turn that off, and I gotta turn my E off, because that was actually getting annoying. But basically, Arthas, as you just seen, his gameplay is fairly good. He's actually kind of tanky. He actually has damage to back him up, unlike Anubarak, which, in the lore, Anubarak helps the Lich King do all of his shit. But Arthas is basically one of those where you could just set his ass in a lane and depend on him to keep that lane if he ain't too aggressive with his positioning. Because if he's too aggressive, he'll instantly get ganked every time. He's one of those where he has to be careful, but still he can get in and attack. He could go balls deep and attack, get damage in, but then he has to back out. And he has enough stuns like his Howling Blast to root people in place. And if he's got the Syndragosa, like I was saying, anything within that ice path that's a hero gets rooted. So he has several ways to get away. And if he gets jumped, like, from a character, let's use Illidan, because he can stick to people like fucking glue. He can use Death Coil, hopefully heal, and get behind the gate and towers before he becomes a ragdoll and flips all over the place. But other than that, Arthas is actually a really great character for new players to start off on. He's very easy to use. I mean, there's nothing much to him. Just remember to hit your E every time you battle, and hit your D. Those two will be your main ones. These two is just like a passive cast ability that you do. I call it a passive cast ability, but you still gotta cast them. And then your ultimate, which, like I said, Army of the Undead. I'll show you that real quick, because I know some people's gonna be like, "Oh, but you didn't show us this one." Well, guess what? You can't say that now. You summon an army of ghouls. That's it. You summon 6 of the things. And then, if you run low on life, hit your R again, and it sacrifices a ghoul to put 450 life back on you. Basically, a quick save. Me, I just prefer the Syndragosa over. And I'm just going to get these 2 things out in the open. I've gotten 2 emails in my inbox from 2 different people. I'm not going to disclose their names. But one of them asked, why do I always do my videos in the try mode? Well, for one, I ain't got to worry about any other player coming up and kicking my ass all over the ground and all over the yard. For 2, it's basically easier for me to set it up, easier for me to show you the abilities right then, right there, and get more out in the open than to wait and not have it. Now, the second one, he asked me, not going to disclose his name, asked me why I don't do the battles yet. The reason I don't do... said part of my answer. What he basically asked me was why I don't do the battles while commentating on the stuff I'm doing right now on the screen. Basically, that refers back to what the first person asked. I am eventually going to start doing the battles and everything, but for now, I'm just doing review videos on the characters, showing what their lore is, what their possibilities are. Basically, all of what they are right now. It can get changed. Nothing's ever going to stay the same unless Blizzard thinks it's perfect at that point. Then it might stay